Ponta Delgada in the Azores, where the bus stops right by the ship. First tip, take a coat. Second tip,
by taking the bus tour at the end of the day, you often get it to yourself, which is brilliant.
So for your morning, you could turn left and walk to the fort, or go straight ahead and turn left into the town.
This island has a very different feel to the Caribbean, including the temperature, which is noticeably colder.
Braving the cold, there are other means of transport.
There are bikes, scooters, buggies to hire, and even a tandem for two. Great way to see the town.
There is also a horse-drawn carriage ride, which we'll show you.
I think I found my colour.
And all close to the ship.
The streets are very pretty, cobbled, very clean. I'm going to go and have a look at the town square. They've certainly made an effort with the pansies.
Excursions will include the adventurous climbing and canyoning. Easier, a guided tour of the island's lakes and mountains. Or easier still,
one of the ways you can see the town is in a horse and cart.
By walking left through these streets, we're walking parallel to the seafront and towards the fort. On our right is the Botanical Park, which we'll get to in a moment from the bus tour.
We're at the town gates now, over here.
Looking at the sea, the fort's on our right.
The Azores are a remote group of volcanic islands in the Atlantic Ocean. There are 9 of them and they're divided into 3 groups. They're on the same line of latitude as Lisbon and Washington DC, and the language here is Portuguese.
There are very many churches in the Azores. As you walked up from the port, you passed the Church of St. Pedro. As you walked along the road, you'll have passed the Church of St. Sebastian. And in the square is the Church of San Jose.
In front of you, the Church of São Roque, the first Baroque church in the Azores. It's characterized by its beautiful facade with the bell tower and adjoining chapel, decorated with beautiful tiles from the 17th century.
The beaches are the darker volcanic sand.
They call this island the Green Island because the humidity is always about 77. It rains most days. They say they can have 4 seasons in one day and they never know what clothes to wear because it can start out really cloudy, then get hot, then pour down with rain. The vegetation in the Azores is beautiful and varied, and practically anything which grows in a temperate climate will flourish. So here we have one of the 2 botanical gardens in Ponta Delgada. This tree is how I imagine the faraway tree from the children's story.
So it's hot and humid now, and you need a bag to put the coat in which you had for when it was cold and misty. But as you can see, one minute Jean has her jumper on, the next minute it's off.
Great fun for children to play in.
So we've actually left the bus tour, which wasn't that exciting, unless you're interested in all the churches built during the 16th and 17th century, and we've walked back through the park, which seemed much more interesting.
Oh wow, this is pretty. There is another park here that charges an entrance fee, but this one is absolutely delightful. And there's a play area for children.
Walking back through the park brings you to the town. And on the right,
at the end of the port is the military museum.
You can see how close we are to the ship. We haven't gone far at all. Ponta Delgada is small, a population of only about 1,000 people. But its strategic position in the middle of the Atlantic meant it was one of the first ports the Portuguese made into a fortress. And similarly, in World War II, they did the same. We have a full film of this port, which is actually more about World War II, on the Doris Visits channel. So for the enthusiasts about forts and military, that's where to go. If you want to see a really old fort, I'd suggest you look at the one in St. Kitts, and that's on our St. Kitts video. We have a port guide for most ports. Now let's go back to the port and check out the whale watching, swimming with dolphins and diving.
The Atlantic Ocean is quite interesting. They can reach about 40 meters deep visibility sometimes. We have several reefs like lava holes, lava structures that you can go and arches, underwater arches. At the same time we get some wrecks, so it's interesting also from the point of view of history. And our staff is composed by marine biologists, which is really interesting also because most of us love to dive and they will point you to the most interesting things under the water.
So the Azores is small, it can be cold or hot. Turn right for the port, whale watching or diving. Turn left for the town or the fort. Or have an excursion in to see the volcanoes.
Oh my once you're in, I promise. This is the St Kitts Cruise, Steel Band and Snorkel Tour.
I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this tour and it was worth every penny.
Everybody rocked off the ship and some guests came up to us and said it was the best tour they'd ever done. If there are lots of ships in, you may dock in the container port, but the shuttle bus will bring you here. And from here, you can get your buses and go out on your tours for the day. We came with Debbie. She dropped us off at Carambola Beach Club, which is just along from Friars Bay.
Just chill out on a deck chair and read my book, Cruise Ship Heist.
The further away from the more expensive beach club, the less golden and the more volcanic the sand gets, but the more fun it gets. There's no timetable, but the bus's prices are quite reasonable. If you thought the stone steps in Tallinn were narrow, try these. I think I could.
Tortola, in the British Virgin Islands. A place to park your ship and park your money. 3 things to do: walking tour, bus tour, or the beach. All the approved drivers wear a government shirt.
So every month they have a full moon party and people come from all over and they go down to Bomber's Shack.
From Stout's Lookout, you can get a fantastic view down to the bays.
Just want to give a shout out to Stout's Outlook. The loos are spotless.
The Coolwood Rum Distillery is just before the beach, so you could leave the tour, stay on the beach.
This beautiful beach is called Cane Garden Bay. Very important, it's got a beach bar.
And it's only about 20 to 25 minutes back. So if you wish to visit Road Town, which isn't that big, you can plan to do that as well.
This is the Virgin Island Folk Museum. It's a government-owned museum on slavery. This is the Lower Estate Sugar Works. Tsunami evacuation route. You go up. We've just been told what would happen in the case of a tsunami. The lights would flash. The lady would run out of the hut, shout tsunami, wave her arms, and everybody runs up the hill.
The Bermudas are about 138 islands in a fishhook shape. It's said to be the jewel in the British territorial crown. If it's been your ambition to swim with dolphins, Bermuda is definitely your place, and it's minutes walk from the ship. As is the water sports centre and dockyard. There's a free park area in the dock, but the fun zone, which has a beach, party area, restaurant and a bar, is $10 to get in. There's a crazy golf course. There are a number of superb golf courses on the island. Bermuda is golf. If you're wondering where the visitor centre is, it's right next door to the ferry on stop number 1. Although you can get the bus for $4.50 one way into Hamilton and $4.50 back's $9. So I've chosen to take the $19 all-day pass. City Hall is Bermuda's Society for the Arts. And just behind it is the park with the bandstand. Next to City Hall is the central bus station. Now you've got yourself an all-day pass. This is Flats Bridge in Flats Village, Middle Road, that runs right through the middle of the island. If you're joining the ship here, you will go in a coach bonded to the port terminal and check into your ship. Once checked into the ship, you can visit Barbados.
Number 8 is the bearded fig tree, and it is how Barbados got its name, Los Barbados, the bearded one.
We're having a beach day today in Barbados from the cruise ship, and it's really easy to do cheaply. If you like a rum punch and a snorkel, this is the boat for you.
We'll show you north, south, east and west of the island, a bit in the middle, but tonight we're going out.
We're at Mo's Bar and Grill, and it's right on the side of the stage, so the music's going to be loud.
The dancing starts late, but if you don't get there early, you won't get a seat.
Very dramatic. I think there's a wedding over there. It's a baptism. The very helpful young lady in the bar said that the botanical gardens are 5 minutes walk up here. So fingers crossed, I'm trusting her. But it is quite a steep hill. Just having a beer at the famous Sandy Lane Hotel. God knows what it's going to cost. Welcome to Grenada, known as the Nutmeg Isle. Very small island, about the size of the Isle of Wight.
A happy feeling island. It's easy to see the town and very easy to get to Grandad's Beach.
Grandad's Beach is about 7 miles from the port, and $1 on a public bus is a pretty good deal to get here.
We have a small chocolate museum where we offer a complimentary tour. We explain where chocolate comes from. We explain the process we follow here in Grenada to make our dark chocolate.
So we have our spice market, we have our nutmegs, we have our spices, we have our cloves, there's our chocolates.
My name is Alan.
Yeah.
Everybody always have a nice time.
The island that will make you want to dance and smile is famous for spices, chocolate, waterfalls lakes and great beaches.
This is a really long beach. You can either stay in front of the bars, which is densely populated, but you have Wi-Fi, or you can walk to the other end and have vast expanse all to yourself.
Thanks for watching the Doris Visits port videos. It means so much to us. Please hit the subscribe button and share with your friends. And if you have time, I'd love you to read Cruise Ship Heist, the first of our cruise thrillers. And if you can, review it wherever you purchase it. Apple Books, Amazon Books. It costs 99p on the Kindle.